I will say again slowly what I meant. Maybe I was wrong. Look, we said the chess is like, it's a battle, right? Making it an expressway. It is a battle. We have the white army, we have the black army. That's what we have. Those are the units of the white army, those are the units of the black army. They are even, so it's a very fair and easy war, right? No one has a bigger army to start. There are no wars like this in real life, right? Usually one army is bigger or smaller, much bigger, much smaller, but this is very fair. Each one has 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, queen, king is obviously, and 8 pawns for each one. Now, we compared, when did we touch the part of a field? Doesn't matter which type of field. We said that in a war, if one army has 100,000 soldiers and the other one has 10,000, do you think that the one with 100,000 has advantage? I think so. Big advantage. What will be the equivalent in chess to having a bigger army?
Have more material.
Have more material. You know, somehow, if you manage to win your opponent bishop, all right, you're 3 points ahead. That's the value of a bishop. You manage to win a knight, you're already 6 points ahead, and so on. So this is exactly the equivalent. And we will not say, oh, you know, 2 pawns versus a knight, because we know that it's not about how many units, it's really the value, right? A pawn is 1, knight is 3, a bishop, let's say, is 3, maybe a tiny bit more, a rook is 5, and a queen is 9 or 10. And it's not based randomly. It's basically their strength. For example, a pawn can only go forward and capture diagonally, but he can only go 1 or 2 at the first squares and then only 1. A bishop can go diagonally as much as he can. For example, let's just touch this point for a second. Let's put a bishop here. Can this bishop go to this square?
Yes.
Can he go to this square?
No.
No, forget about the rook. I can clear the board. Let's say that there is no rook here. Can this bishop capture this rook?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Can this bishop move to this square?
No.
Right. Now, let's say that we have a rook here. In more than one move, can this rook move to this square?
Yes.
In more than one move?
Yes.
Yeah, how?
It goes to
You can come and show.
E4 to
Mhm.
E6, then to G6.
Okay, that's correct. So, I have a question. This rook, can it go to more squares than the bishop that was here or less?
More.
No. This rook technically can be on any square on the board, right? Any square. If the board is clean, this rook can go to any square. It will take him 1 or 2 moves, but he can be everywhere. And the bishop can only be on dark squares. So this is why the bishop will be 3 points and the rook is more. How much more? Well, that's a question, but it simply can do more things, right? If you buy something, I don't know, you buy a computer that has DVD player and computer that doesn't have a DVD player or CD-ROM or whatever, the one that has more features most likely is going to be more expensive, right? Well, the same is in chess. Pieces that are more valuable are pieces that can do more. So this is our logic. Now, what about a queen? Look at that.
The queen is way powerful.
Right. Is the queen a combination of a bishop and a rook?
Yes.
Can the queen go diagonally as much as she wants?
Yeah.
Can it go straight lines as much as she wants?
Yeah.
Well, rook goes straight lines, bishop goes diagonally. So a queen is a combination of those. But it's tiny trickier. Then you should ask me, hey Ronen, you said that a rook is 5 and a bishop is 3. That's 8, right? 5 plus 3, how much is it? 8, incredible, you're right. So how come I said that the queen is 9 to 10? Well, why? Why would the queen be more than a rook and a bishop?
Since she's like more royal.
More royal. Sometimes, but not in this example. Yes?
More powerful.
But why? Why would it be more powerful than a rook and a bishop?
Because she can practically go on any square of the board more in one move.
So, yeah.
It
But why? Yes.
It has more moves.
That's true, but does a queen, this queen right now, can it move? If I put a piece together, I combine a rook and a bishop together, and I put them here, they will make a queen. But you see, this is the tiny tricky part. If I put this bishop on this square, where would this bishop go? Only to dark colors, right? So listen, this is a bit advanced, tiny bit. But if I move now this queen to here, now this queen is a bishop of light color. Now this queen is dark color. That's why the queen is somewhere between rook and a bishop to rook and two bishops. Because the queen can go on diagonals also on light colors, right? If I put the queen here, would it be able to go on light colors diagonals?
Yes.
If I put the queen here, would it be able to go on dark color diagonals?
Yes.
So the queen is tiny bit more than just a rook and a bishop. It is like a rook, sometimes light color bishop, sometimes dark color bishop. That's why it's more. That's why it's 9 to 10, exactly. So this is the logic. You know, chess, everything is going to be logic. So we are super quickly going to repeat what we mentioned. So those are the pieces, and we know that we want to have more units. This is why if I will have a rook, extra rook, and you will have an extra bishop and a pawn, who has more material, me or you? I have an extra rook, you have an extra bishop and a pawn. Who has, yes? I have a rook, you have a bishop and a pawn. Who has more?
You.
Me. How much I have more?
1. 1.
1. Exactly. So it's not you don't need to come and tell me, hey, I have 2 more units. No. I have 5 points extra. You get 4. I have extra 1. Okay, so this is the part that we mentioned material in chess. And material is most important. The same way that in a battle, not every unit is equal, right? In a real battle, some units are more powerful. All right. Now another question. When we mention a field, a soccer field, what did we also say is really important in a battle? Who controls more territory? Right? This is what we mentioned. Who controls more territory? This is why I gave you an example from a day-to-day. My soccer abilities are not that incredible, believe me. Basketball a bit better, but soccer, so-so. But this is exactly the point. This is a field. It has 64 squares, 8 by 8. Okay, if I control more squares, I have an advantage. Why? Because I have more ability, right? We said, let's say that this is, not the king is a goalie, but let's say that this is where we want to get the ball. So if I am here, it's easier for me to kick the ball to the goal, right? Rather than if I'm here. So the more squares that I control, I have more abilities to maneuver. I have more abilities to do a lot of things. So this is the part that we discussed, material and space. Now, let's do one thing. How do we finish? I want to skip, and then we will go back to something. How do we really win a chess game? We win the game by checkmating, in principle. But I can tell you that in Grandmaster's level, strong players level, nobody plays still checkmate. People usually resign. When do they resign? When they think that their position is hopeless. This is something very special about chess. You can resign. You can also offer a draw. Think about it. You're playing soccer. There are 5 minutes for the rest of the game, and you're down 4-0. It's not even possible, technically, to score 4 goals in 5 minutes. I mean, 2 goals, yes. 3 even, I think. But I don't remember 4 out of my memory. So in soccer, it doesn't happen. But one team comes to the other and say, OK, thank you, good game. Let's finish before. You know, I don't need to play till checkmate. Kids never do that. They always play till checkmate. So, but in real games, Grandmasters, nobody really plays until they are getting checkmated. So my question is, how do we really checkmate? Because this is what you are going to be. For example, I'm going to put some positions on the board, and we're going to discuss them super quickly. We're going to discuss another important element that I want. Then we will go back and really figure out the importance of material. So we'll take all the pieces away. All right, let's put, first of all, let's start with this position. Just in general, white has an extra queen. So white has done very well. He managed to win lots of more material. Now he has an extra queen. First question, is it possible to checkmate with an extra queen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, where, on what part of the board should the checkmate be? The corner? Yes?
D6.
But if you play, you want to play queen d6?
If you had an extra queen.
This is what I have. Where can white checkmate black? Can he checkmate black here? Can black king be here and white will be able to checkmate him? No. Why no?
Because on the side,
Here.
there's squares.
Let me give a check. Does black have anywhere to go?
Yes.
Where?
You can go to E7.
E7 or D7 or F7, right? How many squares can this king go right now? How many squares are available for the king to go?
1.
This position.
All of them.
8.
8, right? The king is just like a queen here, only that it moves 1 square. So it can move diagonally or straight lines to any of those squares. Perfect. 8 squares is really, really a lot. The queen and the king cannot really control that many squares. Seriously. They cannot. Even if you put the king close and the queen here, now they control only 6 squares. The king cannot go here. He cannot go here. He cannot go here. He cannot go here. Well, the queen is also attacking this square. And also he cannot go here. But the king can go here and he can go here. So we cannot checkmate the king in the center of the board. If the board was endless, instead of 8 by 8, it would be infinity. It would be impossible to checkmate with a king and a queen. Impossible, because the king will always have 8 squares. But when the king gets to the edge of the board, I don't really care where it is. How many squares does the king have here to go? Forget about this queen. How many squares the king have?
5.
Exactly 5, because there is no 9 here, right? If there was 9, the king could have gone D9, E9, F9. But there is no 9. So the board has limits, right? Okay, so we will checkmate. This is, by the way, the part of space, right? It's important. So let me put this position. For example, there are 2 ways to checkmate here for white. If someone want to come to the board and show me a checkmate, he's welcome. Yes. Okay. Queen e7? I agree. The king is protected, right? The king is protecting the queen, and the king can go nowhere. Okay. There was another position. There is another move. Yes?
It is B8.
Queen b8. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let's do just really one more position. One. That's easy. I'll put it here. White has actually only 1 move to checkmate here. 1 move. Yes?
Queen to F4.
Queen check. Now you need to ask yourself, the same way that anyone always need to ask themselves, if you play this move, does this king have somewhere to go to get out of this check? If he does, it is not checkmate. If he doesn't, it is a checkmate. Does this king have somewhere to go to avoid checkmate? What happens if you play queen f4 and the king goes here? No checkmate. Or the king goes here. No checkmate. Yes?
H4.
Queen h4, let's see. The king cannot go here. He cannot go here. He cannot go here. Cannot go here. He cannot go here. Checkmate. Right. So we understand getting more material is the way to help us checkmate. We can also checkmate with a rook. It will require a tiny bit more work because, for example, if I take this and I put the rook here, is this checkmate?
No.
No. Why not?
Because the queen, the rook can't go to G5.
It can move to g5, exactly. Exactly, because the king will be able to move to g5. So that's why we can checkmate the king. It obviously has to be on the back rank, but the kings will have to be opposing one another, so that the rook will control all those squares, and the king will prevent those escaping squares. This is how we're going to checkmate in this type of position. Exactly. Okay, so now we understand the part of material. Now I have an important question. How are we going to get more material? I will put some positions on the board. Okay. Yes? No, in general, forget about a specific position. For example, let me put one position on the board here, okay? Okay. This is our position, and it is white to play. My question is, what is the best move for white? Yes?
Queen to A5.
That's an idea. Why you like queen a5?
Because it would force, well, it would probably stick the knight to C7, because nobody wants the queen to get taken, and that piece is stuck over there. So you could probably move, something else into a place where that knight could take it. And instead of it getting taken, it would stay there instead of where the queen would get taken.
Okay. I will address that in a minute. Any other moves for white? Why to play? What do you play? This is a game. You play against your friend tournament. Yes.
Capture rook on E5.
Capture rook on a5. You also said queen a5, right? Okay. But I want to say something. And I've seen and done a lot of chess with many young kids. Capture the rook on a5 is the right move. You said queen a5, which is okay, it's the same move. But the purpose was not the same. If we want to win a game, we just mentioned that we want to have more material. That's how most 99% of your games are going to be decided by material. Either material or someone will blunder a quick checkmate. That's it. That's it. There is no other way that kids' chess games finish. No other way. This move, you just won 5 points. That's gigantimo. Beyond that, you just won 5 points. 5 points. That's it. That's it. You just won 5 points. Okay. Why is it so horrible for black? Let's say that black will now play this move. Is this a bad move for black?
No.
No. Should black be afraid that white will take the queen?
No.
Why not?
Because it has
Exactly. You know, I've seen both approaches. It's very funny. I think it tells more about the people's character. I've seen some people that says, oh my gosh, if white capture, he's going to lose his queen. And I've seen some people that says if white capture, he's going to win black's queen. Both of them are very wrong. What is in chess? When do we win material? Only when we do something very simple, right? The pieces that I capture, the pieces that my opponent capture. What is the difference? That's a magic word. Magic word. If I give you $2, $10, and you give me back 2 bills of $5, how much I won? Same amount, nothing. The same. If you take a queen and I give you 2 rooks, we just traded. Then some people get so attached to their queen. I'll never give, especially young kids. The queen is so powerful, never give it away. The queen is 9, 10 points. You know, you choose. Depends on the position. But in chess, because sometimes it varies, let's say 9 to 10 points. 2 rooks are 10 points. Most likely, a queen for 2 rooks is about the same. So when we are exchanging, we are only thinking about what is the difference. Now let me ask a question. This was an excellent move. I want to do this thing. I want to take those 2 knights away. And I'm going to ask you if queen take rook is still a good move or not. No, why not?
Because the queen will take it.
It's protected. Okay. Because the queen will take it. And you don't want to give 9 or 10 points and only get 5, right? That's not an amazing trade. All right. Now let's put this position. What do you think about this position?
I think that
Take the rook.
How do you
queen
take
A, queen A5 is still, it's a good move.
Why? Because if he takes back,
You get the 5 points.
because the knight will capture back. All right, cool.
Potentially get the bishop.
Now I'm going to put a bit bizarre position. Let's make it tiny bit more normal. When the bishop is on the 2nd rank, this is the position, and wait a second. This is the position, and let's take, I'll just put another extra knight for white. What should white play here?
Rook A1,
Rook A1. Why not to take?
because it doesn't have as much protection.
Well, but why not to take?
Because the queen takes the rook, the knight will get the queen.
Exactly. So, when each and every one of you is going to think about captures in chess, what should you really be thinking?
Don't get captured.
Let me ask you a question. You say don't get captured, right? Okay, I switch the spots of the queen and the bishop. Do you want to capture now or not?
Yes.
No.
Yes, no, no, yes. Okay. Why no?
You still don't get the same amount of points,
Really?
but you don't lose as much either.
Okay, who said yes and why yes? Yes?
Well, he already said my answer because you don't lose as much as if you lose a queen.
So you will do something that is bad, but just because it is not really very bad? That defies my logic. Then better not to do anything. Right? Think about it. Nothing. Bad. Very bad. Well, stay here. Don't do anything. Why would you do something just because it's better than this?
Don't think.
Yes. Are you? Hello. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead and tell them what you think.
You want to take?
I'm just stretching.
Stretching? I want to stretch too, you know. I'm going to do it after the class. We should go straight. Alrighty, yeah, actually, okay. You see, now that's all I can think about. Alright, but I have a question. Seriously. To take or not to take? Like, not to take. Okay. Take, not to take. Let's see what happens. White is going to take. And black will take back. What should white play now?
No,
Why no?
because then the other queen can take.
Do we have to take? Is it written somewhere that we have to take? That we have to capture? It's not written anywhere, right? So I have a question. How many points white won?
5.
And how many he gave?
3.
So how many he won?
2.
So everyone that either didn't have an answer or say no. Do you want to answer again? Should white take the rook? Yes?
Well,
Should white have taken the rook or not?
not.
Why not? You want 2 points of material.
I kind of say yes and I kind of say no. You could just move the white rook to A1.
But forget about future. Look what happened. Someone comes to you and tells you, what's your name? Joshua. Excellent. Someone comes and tells you, Mr. Joshua, I'm going to give you now $5. And you're going to give me back $3. You win $2. Will you tell him yes or no? Yes? Huh?
All you got was $2.
You got $2. He gives you 5. You give him back 3. Not bad, right? So why in the board you don't want to do that? Why not? This is how you're going to win chess games. You're going to win chess games. Remember how we started about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes, when we were looking at a position when one player has more material. He has a king and a queen versus a king, or a king and a rook versus a king. You will win the games because you get more material. How will you get more material? By capturing. It's not going to come, someone is going to do a magic and suddenly your opponent pieces will disappear. You want to do the magic to make your opponent pieces disappear? Capture them. So, seriously, this is so important. I want to look at more positions. This is the most important part of your game for long time. Until you reach certain level, nothing else is really important. I'm telling you in the most honest way. Look. Let's look at this position. What should white play? Yes.
Rook E5.
Rook take. Just say it's correct, but just say take, because even in chess, if you're going to write it, let's say this was the position. Okay, this was the position, and you play rook e5. How are you going to write it? You're going to write R e5, rook e5. You just write the first letter. If you're going to capture something on e5, how are you going to write it?
Rook captures.
Rook x, right? Rook x bishop or rook x e5. That's for you to write capture. So it's tiny bit even written differently. For example, I understand that you want to take. And even if I see a score sheet and it doesn't say that, I will understand. But technically, you should write it differently. So at least say rook capture e5. You also know. Okay, rook capture bishop or rook capture whatever piece is on e5. Black will capture back, rook capture e5. And then what would white play? Yes? Perfect. Knight e5. Excellent. Now, I want to do this. I want to put this one knight here. And one knight here. How should I play here? Just think carefully. Yes.
E5.
What you gonna capture on e5? How?
It could capture the bit.
But you have, how many ways does white have to capture on e5? How many ways does he have to capture? Yes.
You should use one of the knights instead.
One of the knights to use. So, but first of all, how many ways are there to capture?
There's 3 ways.
3 ways to capture. Knight F can capture. Knight D can capture. Why do I say F and D? I'll just say in a second. They are both knights are on the same rank, right? So think about it. It's funny. Let's say that their last names is the same. Their last name is 3. But this one first name is F and this one first name is D. Because they're on the same rank. By the way, if they were here, just as an example, now their last name is D because they are both on the same D file. And what's the difference? This knight is on the 3rd rank and this knight is on the 7th rank. So if I would have to notate the game, I will write either knight 3 or knight 7. That's what makes the difference. Just quick notation comment. Okay. So in this position, you've said that we should capture with one of the knights. Okay. Why should we capture with one of the knights? Why not to capture with the rook? Yes.
Because the black knight might capture you and the rook has a higher point.
Perfect. What would happen? Can you tell me? That was perfect. So just tell me. If the rook would capture and the knight would capture and then we will capture, what will be the material difference in this sequence? How much material white won or lost?
It would win a bishop and a knight.
And so white would win 6 points?
No, because then it took only 6 points.
It took how many? Black took a rook, right? So let's do. See? 1, 2, 3. I add another 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I take 5. So 1 won. 1 point. So easy when you do it with the fingers. You know, it gets so complicated when it's more than 10. Don't even ask. So, white won 1 point, right? If I take with the knight, black will take, and I will take. So I gave a knight, and I took a knight and a bishop. I won 3 points. That's why your answer is perfect. Right. I would much prefer to give, always when I can, to give the lowest piece in a sequence of captures rather than start by giving the high value piece. Yes?
But the rook doesn't have to take the knight.
Right. But let's say that, yes, this is why, what's your name?
Nicole.
He said, we will take, he didn't even make a distinction between which knight, which was correct. He just made a big difference between the 2 knights capturing versus the rook capturing. That was the big comment. Knight D take e5, knight F take e5. That was really, really the big difference. Either knight D take e5 or knight F take e5, not the rook. Now I know one thing. We understand and know the rules of the game, how the pieces move and how to block a check. But now comes the question. Which move is going to be our best move to play in this position?
Knight F3.
Knight F3. Why wouldn't you play knight to e4?
Because the rook would be defending the knight if it was at F3.
Okay, so you wouldn't play to e4 because it will be captured for free. Right. You gave the answer why to play to f3, no, but perfect. Why not rook f3? Yes.
Because you would be giving away more games.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's say that this was the position. And I put this one on purpose this way. What would happen in a real game of chess if you touch the rook? You touch the rook when you are in check. You would have to play which move?
I would play the e5.
It's the only move, because you will say, "Ah, I really don't want to move the rook," but you have a legal move to stop the check, right? So you would have to play. You would have to play rook d5. Look what it cost you. Because you didn't pay attention to your opponent's immediate threat, it's just going to take your rook. If you see threat, what will you play here? You have actually two moves. Yes,
Knight, G2.
that's one of the moves. And do you have another move?
On to F3.
That's the second move, which is even tiny better. Yes?
I highly recommend that.
You better had one of those two moves. F3 or knight G2. You can play knight F3. You will capture it for free and it will actually be checkmate. Yes?
It was
Knight
Knight F2.
F G2 or F3?
That was an F G2.
Yeah, knight G2 is like what this young gentleman mentioned. Exactly. So, we mentioned today two most important things. Two. One, the importance of captures. If you believe me, and if not me, then open some best chess books. They all say the same. You will win the games because you will have more material, at least up until certain level. That's how chess games are being decided. So if you want to have more material, you better open your eyes and see captures. But here comes the second part. What is the distance between you winning a rook, meaning you are up 5 points, or you avoid losing a rook, avoid losing 5 points? It's the same distance. From 0 to 5, let's say you are 5, you are up. It's the same then from 0 to -5, which means on all those examples, the same important thing that you want to capture your opponent's rook, is it going to be important to avoid losing your rook? Exactly the same. And to do that, what you have to do? You have to look at your captures, your opponent captures, or both.
Both.
As long as you understand that you have to look equally at your play, your opponent play. By the way, I can put it in a larger scale. Not just the captures. Captures are most common ones. But threats, like the example I mentioned before. You have checkmate, your opponent has checkmate. If your checkmate is faster than your opponent, maybe you can go on. If your opponent checkmate is faster, well, you better prevent it, right?